Hello folks, J. Scott Phillips here. Welcome to my channel. And today we are bound for BookTube. That's right, BookTube itself. Now, I didn't expect to be making a BookTube video today. I didn't think I would have time anytime this week really to do a video. I was hoping this weekend I might find some time to start working on my next regular video. If you've seen my channel, you probably know I like to talk a lot about artwork that comes along with the books and stories that we chat about here. And that takes some prep time usually. Usually have to do a little background research on the artist and then get a good image to show up on the screen while we're chatting about it in comparison to the story and that kind of thing. And so that takes some prep and research time. I don't get to just sit down and chat about the book I read. I love talking about the artwork, and that just takes me a little more background time. And so my videos come out a little less often than I would like to. That is about to change in about a month. That's another story, but I'm hoping to have a lot more time to work on these videos and post them up a little more regularly. That's another story. In the meantime, that rascally Randy Ray, the literate Texan, tagged me today, this being Tag Tuesday, to do the Watching BookTube Tag. And usually BookTube tags don't require the kind of prep work and research that I normally will want to do for a video that features artwork and that kind of thing. So I do have time now today to do this BookTube tag here. Hopefully I'll get it done while it's still Tag Tuesday, but I got a feeling like usual that it won't get uploaded until Tag Wednesday. So I'm just going to give myself that kind of elbow room here. So thank you, Randy, for tagging me. This looks like a fun one here. This I think this BookTube tag has been around for several years, actually, and has resurfaced recently. I'm not sure who rediscovered it. I suspicion it might have been MJ at Reading This Life. She has done this recently. And then Read by Fred picked it up here and tagged Randy. And so now I think this is going to start making the rounds again here. And Randy tagged me. So these are questions specifically for BookTubers, their experience as a BookTuber, watching BookTube channels themselves, and reading. So there are 11 tags here, and we'll start with prompt number 1. And it is, how many channels are you subscribed to? Now, this question did take a little research here. I had to go on my channel and count up the number of channels that I have. And it just so happens I subscribe to exactly 150 YouTube channels. Now, of those, an even 100 as of today are specifically BookTube channels. And a lot of them, unfortunately, are inactive. Some of them, the BookTubers, whoever the creator was, have just, for whatever reason, stopped doing them. And after about a year or so, I start to feel like they are probably just done. Something else in life came along, they fell out of the habit, whatever it is. But the cool thing about BookTube is that as long as they don't take them down, we can always go back and watch those videos later on. And so that's kind of nice, the way we can always stream the older videos that are left up. Some BookTubers will take time off and hopefully come back sooner than later. We often hope. Maybe they're just taking a break for a time. Like me, I don't get to post more than every 2 or 3 weeks, maybe, if I'm lucky. Every so often, a little more often. As I say, that's going to change here pretty soon. So we'll get into that at another time. Prompt number 2, when do you normally watch BookTube? And what I tend to do, I think, is my work projects usually take up so much time, and it's unpredictable time. I'm an art director and creative director in marketing and advertising, and so schedules change daily and sometimes many times during the day. So watching BookTube can be a challenge. However, one of the cool things about BookTube is that, at least of a lot of the channels that I enjoy, you don't actually have to watch them. You can have them on the screen, but you can mostly just listen to them because it's mostly talk-based. My channel's a bit of an exception because I show a lot of artwork, and that's kind of a different situation. But most of the channels that I subscribe to and that I really enjoy they're talking most of the time. They might hold up a book every so often that they're talking about just to kind of have something to illustrate what they're chatting about, but you don't have to look at that cover. You don't have to look at the artwork. And so I do a lot of BookTube consumption while I'm driving to work or from work, or driving on errands around town, that kind of thing, or while I'm getting ready or doing chores around the house. Now, sometimes there are BookTube videos that I do want to sit and actually watch, although you don't always have to do that. But one way of doing that is while I'm eating dinner or lunch at home, and then I can put something up on the screen and pay more attention to it. And that's another time like driving or doing chores and things that you can't do anything else anyway, but you can get your BookTube in. That kind of spills into question number 3 here. How do you balance BookTube watching, reading, and making your own videos? Well, I already talked about balancing the watching. I just kind of pirate time while I can't do anything else, but I can listen. But reading, that I have to set time aside for, obviously. A lot of people will listen to audiobooks, and then they can do the same kind of thing I do with listening while I'm doing other things. I've never gotten into audiobooks. I don't like the performance of the narrator telling me the story or reading me the story. I like to read it myself, and my own mind will fill in the nuances or whatever of the storytelling or the narrative somehow, and I don't have someone else trying to perform the book or the story. I've never gotten into audiobooks, at least fiction. I have an easier time if it's nonfiction for some reason, I think because there isn't that performance behind it. But getting back to the prompt here, so as far as reading, I do have to carve time out to do that. I usually like to read about 2 hours a night. That's a reasonable target. And then as far as making my own videos, that I just have to set time aside in between everything else. And like I say, that will require some prep and research time, and then editing time too. Once I sit down and do the video, that doesn't take that much time. But then I'm going to be going back and populating with artwork and that kind of thing, which I surprisingly enjoy that. I've never been a big fan of production work. I've had to do thousands and thousands of hours of production work in my career, and that is usually just that's another time that I can watch BookTube, is when I'm if I'm doing my own production on some project at work or for a client, and it's not something I have to concentrate and really think about. I just kind of go into kind of a autopilot. I can listen to BookTube videos then, and often do. Steve Donahue will do these impromptu live Steve streams, he calls them, and those will pop up. Sometimes I'm busy at work and I can't watch them. I have to watch them later on, but I can often just have it going on a second monitor on my desk there, and I can listen to them, and then when I get a chance I can join in on the comments section. That's fun. So production, as much as I dislike having to work on my own production often, there are benefits to that. So that's handy from time to time. Prompt number 4, is there a difference between videos you like watching and videos you like making? And again, yeah, I guess it's the artwork, because I will focus a lot of my video time on the artwork and illustrations and the artists on my channel, and I don't see anybody else really doing that. like I say, a lot of people will hold up the book and they might mention the cover art and talk a little bit about it, but don't go into the detail of the art itself like they will with the book or story that they've read. And I like to do both. So that's a difference. Now, there are a couple of BookTube channels that I really enjoy that talk about books that take a lot of care with the presentation, putting up just full bleed screens of art and illustration. Sometimes they'll animate things going on in there, while in the background they're talking about the story or their recommendations and things, and they're using the full screen to illustrate what they're talking about with the artwork from books or movies or whatever it might be. And it's just really nice to view those things, although they're talking about the stories in the books, not about the artwork itself. So that's a slight difference there. That's kind of somewhere in between the two there. Question number 5. Who is the first BookTuber you subscribed to, and do you still watch them? Well, I can't remember specifically who the first BookTuber is that I subscribed to, but I discovered BookTube just a few years ago in 2020 during the COVID quarantine. And during that time, we started working remotely, and our clients they were also tied down. And so our ad agency that I've worked for years suddenly had very little work. And so working from home was just unsatisfying. It was I had a lot of anxiety in those days. I didn't have that much work to do, not knowing when money was going to be coming in, and just those kinds of concerns were pretty overwhelming. We probably all went through some version of that. And for me, reading, I thought, well, at least I'm going to have more time to read. But when I'm reading, that's something I do for pure enjoyment. I need a certain level of a peace of mind, and I didn't have that at all for weeks and weeks during the quarantine. I found, though, during that time that I could kind of veg out watching TV, so I was just watching a lot of things on TV, and I discovered BookTube, because if I couldn't read, at least I could kind of vicariously get some of that experience by watching other people who are reading and then talking about it. And since I couldn't go out and hang out with friends and talk about anything else, I was finding these new connections with BookTubers. And one of the very first ones I found was Murphy Napier. And probably because she was such a big influencer even then, that she popped up early in my feed for looking for people talking about books. And I enjoyed her quite a bit. And she talked about science fiction. One of my favorite genres of all time is science fiction. Not so much fantasy. And she talked a lot about fantasy, which was enjoyable, and I enjoyed her personality and her presentation and all that. But she was talking about a lot of books that I just knew I wasn't really that interested in. Do you still watch them? I don't really watch them. I was watching a lot of her to begin with because she was one of the very few BookTubers that I was even aware of, and I had nothing but time. But over the last few years here, I'm still a subscriber, but I will typically only watch one of her videos if it pops up that she's reading a book or discussing a book that I'm definitely interested in. Usually science fiction or those sorts of things, or some classics. She does talk about some of the classics, but I don't really consider myself a regular viewer of hers at all anymore. Question number 6. Who is the most recent BookTuber you subscribe to? And every so often, at least once or twice a month, I will go and check out the BookTube newbie tags and see who the newcomers are. And just this week, I discovered Joe Spivey. And he's a brand new BookTuber, but it looks like Steve Donahue has discovered him recently also and has mentioned him on his channel. And Joe Spivey, though he's only been on for, I think, less than 2 weeks right now, he's already over 100 subscribers. So he took off like a bullet there. So we wish him luck. I'm enjoying his channel. He's from the UK, I think, in northern England, and he's got a great on-screen personality, and he's one of the booktubers that I enjoy watching, that no matter what book they're talking about, whether it's a genre I'm interested in or not, I just enjoy the discussion, their style of chatting. So Joe Spivey, not to be confused with the Joe Spivey from Camp Granada, I'm assuming. Prompt number 7, share an old favorite booktuber. And I'm going to say Sean D. Standfast. He's been around for a year or two before I started. I just started last summer, a year ago, just over a year ago. And Sean D. Standfast is a science fiction aficionado. And he doesn't talk about artwork, but he does talk about the background of books and stories of authors, which I love. And he's always surrounded by a huge stack of just looming bookcases that look like they're going to tumble down and bury him alive at any minute. Now, he has not been doing videos much lately because he's been going through some personal trouble in trying to relocate. I guess his rent or lease ran out, and he's been forced to move, and he's got some health issues and some monetary issues that, at least as far as monetary wise, he's reached out to a lot of booktubers who have been pitching in and helping him. He's even had a couple other booktubers in the UK go over to his house and help him pack and move and all that. So that's one of the great things about BookTube, is the community, that it inspires these kinds of connections that I haven't seen in any other part of YouTube. Might be out there or something, but something about bookish people reaching out to each other and all that's inspiring. So if you get a chance, if you don't know Sean D. Standfast already, check out his channel, and you will enjoy it. And it looks like he's getting closer to making that move. He does a update every so often, whereas when he didn't have this to worry about, he was posting practically every day. So he was a really regular booktuber just recently, and will likely be again once he gets settled. Wishing Sean D. Standfast good luck in the move. Question number 8, share a new favorite booktuber. And I will say, it's a couple of months ago, again, like I say, I'll check out the newbie tags. I came across Timothy Burbage. He's another Brit, and he and his family are Disney fans. And he talks about other books as well, but he was talking in a couple of the earlier videos that I was watching of his about some things Disney. And I have a huge history with working for Disney here, having grown up and lived in Anaheim, California, under the shadow of Disneyland and the fireworks every night. I worked for Disneyland back in college, and then again in the 90s in creative services for Disneyland, advertising and marketing. And so I was sharing with him in his comments section some stories about Disney and all that, and because I knew he would appreciate chatting about Disney stuff. So, but he does talk about a lot of other things too. So, and I will leave a link to these people that I'm mentioning down in the descriptions down below. So if you're interested in Timothy Burbage, I would recommend you take a look. Prompt number 9, what is one of your BookTube pet peeves? And I don't know that I really have many pet peeves of BookTube, any more than anything that I might gripe about BookTube. I could gripe about anything else in life, I think. One thing that I wouldn't really call it a pet peeve, but when I come across a BookTube channel that I might otherwise like, I like to see the people that are presenting. I want to see their expressions and how they feel about things, just visually see them. There are some BookTube channels that I think I might otherwise like, except that you never see the person on the screen. You hear their voice, and they'll show other things. Sometimes there's like a little animated drawing of them, or there's a shadow, or the person's wearing a mask or something. I don't understand that. Maybe they're shy. But that, I can't say that it bothers me. I guess I'm saying it bothers me. I want to see the person's face. I don't want to see their expressions and all that. Prompt number, what are we on? 10. What have you learned from watching other booktubers? And I think early on, some of the advice that I would get, and I hear a lot of booktubers that I really like saying this all the time anyway, but that is advice to you as a booktube creator, and I will pass this along, is that don't worry about doing everything perfectly. Just do it. Take a shot at it. If you've been thinking of doing a booktube channel, just do it. I was thinking of doing it for a couple of years before I actually started. I had a couple of false starts and didn't think that I would try to edit it just perfectly and all that. And at one point, I just let all that go, and it all just fell into place, and it's a blast. So that's one of the things that I haven't worried about. Another thing that I hear people talking about is trying to do regular videos, like on a daily basis or a weekly basis, or 2 or 3 videos a week on Monday, Thursday, and Friday, or something like that. I knew from the beginning I would never be able to do that, so I don't worry about that at all. I just take my time to put out a video when I get the chance to do it. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I do like it to have, I want to make sure I touch on all my discussion points that I want to chat about. And so that takes, again, that gets back to the prep time and all that. I do have notes, and I'll go from an outline of bullet points and things like that. But I don't worry about having a video every week. It's going to take whatever time it takes. Again, like I say, I think that's going to be changing here in about a month. That's another story. And then finally, prompt number 11 is tag some of your favorite booktubers. So I am going to tag Sean D. Standfast. I know he's in the middle of a move and trying to do all the logistics and things like that. But he posts every so often, and hopefully this won't take him very long. It's something that he can do wherever he's at, I'm hoping. So Sean, consider yourself tagged on this one. And I am also going to tag Book Songs and Other Magic. I tagged him back for June on the Range. But to be fair, I only did that tag on I think on June 29th or 30th. There was no time left in June. I know he got the tag and was intending to do it later, but June got away from everybody, and I don't think he had time, so I'm going to tag him on this one that does not have any kind of a time limit on it. Just go ahead and do it whenever you get a chance to. Doesn't have to be by the end of the month or the end of the season or anything like that. So hopefully Book Songs and Other Magic can respond to the tag here. And then finally, I'm going to tag Eyes on Indie. That is a channel that I've enjoyed since I started doing my own videos about a year ago, and she started doing hers about the same time. So we ran into each other when we were both brand newbies and have kind of followed along with each other. Which she is, she focuses on indie presses, and so she'll talk about books and publishers that a lot of other booktubers don't get close to, and she keeps up on all of those and has some favorites. And so the books she talks about are usually different than you might come across on other channels. So worth looking into if you're interested in that kind of thing. All kinds of genres and things. And she has a kind of a fun presentation too. She'll do some goofy little things to kind of pepper through her videos from time to time that make it enjoyable also. And there you have it. So I'm going to wrap this up. And Randy, you got me to do a video here when I wasn't expecting to, so thanks for that. And we'll try to get back on track with some normal videos here soon. And I'll probably be dipping into some spooky stuff here for October. And then, like I say, next month I might be able to find more time, more often to come into your home here or on your device and blather on about artwork and books and other stuff. So we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching, and we'll chat again very soon.